Something egregiously bad and
are examining the parenting teaching coming out of Canon Press, which is run by Doug Wilson and his parenting empire. We're looking at two themes, one of which this idea of winning as a parent and alpha parenting.
Child does something egregiously bad and you burst into tears and say, you don't understand how sad this makes me. First of all, I think it's terrible because you should be enforcing God's law, not your own emotions.
Right off the bat, we see that emotions are put as a contrast to God's law, as though those are incompatible. Secondly, we see a couple of the common lies Christian parents believe in popular Christian parenting teaching. One is that parents act unilaterally as God's agents of authority. So enforcing God's law would be something a parent intuitively does. That's what they can and should do. No space for emotions to be present. Instead, parents should be cultivating detachment when they interact with their children.
Second of all, huge strategic error there. Like, you are showing weakness.
And this makes me think of the ways militant language and really the influence of the military runs all throughout Canon Press materials. This framing that it's a battle, that you need to be strategic, you don't make a tactical error. And some of this gives you the broader lay of the land for how all relationships should be navigated, whether that's with a broader community, as far as Christian nationalism and achieving those ends, or within your own family where you are going to win the battle.
We're saying, let me show you how you can be the boss of the land right now. Let me lay it all out there for you, how if you just say this, you're in charge of the world. I mean, like, mom will come unglued.
Sweeping statements made with examples that are very vague. So we don't really get a sense of what's going on in this interaction. The title of the clip is When a Child Says, I Hate You. So if the parent's response to hearing that is to be like, don't show weakness, don't show emotion, or else you give them the upper hand, it really leaves family bereft, both from parents being humans who do feel emotions if their child says something hurtful, and also for any sort of curiosity that would want to know why a child is saying that. Certainly what's being offered as the tool for parents is a swift judgment on motivations, that the presumption is the child is operating by this same military conquest battle for power that the parent is.
Especially dealing with little boys, this is just a huge tactical mistake because you want them to be unable to rattle you in your authority.
And it really is functionally narcissistic. It's presuming that anything going on with the child is an attempt to rattle you as the parent. There's no capacity that something separate could be going on with the child that's worth investigating or worth consideration. It's all about the parent's perception and the parent's perspective and preserving that perspective.
If your child says something like, I hate you, you should be able to say, without it being a big, oh no, you should just be able to say, and you're not allowed to be a liar.
Like, kind of took me off guard because this felt out of the blue that a parental response to a child saying, I hate you, would be, you're not allowed to be a liar. Because what that is saying is you are not allowed to have your emotion. First of all, like, you're not allowed to have that emotion. You're not allowed to express that you hate me. And secondly, it's a lie. So even if a child was genuinely feeling that and expressing that, the parent is saying, that's a lie. You don't hate me. Your voice is not permitted. Your articulation of your feeling is not permitted. And it's not what you are saying it is.
Let's go confess that. Let's go deal with that. That doesn't honor God.
It is very vague and broadly applied. So it's unclear, is it the perceived lie that's the sin? Is it the saying you hate your parent that's the sin? Is it the trying to defy parental authority that's the sin? Whatever it is, there's certainly, again, hasn't been an attempt to understand what's actually going on with the child, but the child's going to be told this is not tolerable and you need to come confess it. Not only that, it doesn't honor God, and also defines for the child what God is like. It's that stowaway doctrine again, where we see stowaway theology in the way parents are told to interact with their children. Is God dishonored if a child says to a parent or authority figure, I hate you? And is that true across the board? Is that always a lie? What if the parental authority is abusive and the child genuinely hates that parent. Is that dishonoring to God that someone experienced oppression and injustice and harm would be crying out in that way?
You don't need to bring in all of the, and ever since you were a baby, you just get out, just stop. The way out of that is to stop referencing your own emotions. If you know you have been doing that, seek your children's forgiveness. Like, say, I am sorry that I have been talking like you, hurting my feelings is the sin. It's sinful of you to dishonor your mother, right? You can't do that.
Again, there's not a sense of maybe a parent considering, have I actually wronged a child? Instead, it's seeking their forgiveness for not phrasing the doctrine correctly, which I imagine is pretty unsatisfactory as a child if a parent is coming to you not because they maybe have treated you poorly or wronged you in some way, but they're going to apologize because they did not scrupulously define their authority properly. And the follow-up to that apology is going to be, you dishonored me. You didn't honor me correctly as your parent.
And then just ask the Lord to give you strength to get your own emotions out of the conflict with them.
And again, we see that what's being told to parents is that they should cultivate detachment and dissociation from their own emotions and to remove that from engagement with their children, particularly engagement that may be a moment where a child is expressing distress. A parent should detach emotionally from that and respond in a very prescriptive manner.